Hey, what's up, lifelong learners? So let's get into the lesson. This is what we're learning today. Okay, so what we are learning today is how to create complex shapes and make the text follow a path on Photopea.com. Why are we learning it? To understand how to create custom text/shapes with different tools for design purposes. And how do we know we learned it? When students are able to create a custom shape layer with text that follows a path. Okay, so this is what we're doing today. We're going to review the previous lesson, which I'm not going to, and then we're going to do the lesson on the path tool. Okay, so the lesson on the path tool, we're going to make the text follow a path of a shape using the path select tool. Okay, and then you're going to notice that there's a dot and an X. I'll get to that. And then you're going to convert the text to shape and manipulate with direct select. So here we go. We go to Photopea.com, which is right here. All right. And then we are going to create a new project. I'm going to call this one Pen and Path Tools. I'm going to make this in inches. We're going to make that 3 inches and another one 3 inches width and height, and the DPI is going to be 300. And the background is going to be transparent, and I'm going to click create. And I'm going to push Command plus to zoom in, or click view and then zoom in. All right, so let's talk about the path tool. So the path tool is right here, is underneath the pen tool. So what I want to do here is I want to create a shape and then put text along the path of that shape. So I'm going to go to the shape tool, click on ellipse, because I think ellipses are cool. They have nice curves to them, so it's easy to demonstrate. You can use any shape, really. Okay, if you want to make a complex shape, you can actually do that too, and put text along the path. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make the stroke a black stroke so that you can see what's going on. All right. So here is the text. Well, first I need to select the path tool and click on the path select. Once you click on the path select, you click on this path right here. And when you click on that path right there, you notice that it changed a little bit. All right, you have these 4 dots or squares here. Okay, and then you're going to click on the text tool and click along the path. So I'll click it right in the middle. All right, and then what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to type, "Hi, my name is ... All right, now when I highlight this, I can change the size of my text here so it's bigger, and you can change the text to whatever you want. We went through this last class. I'm not going to go over it. You can rewatch that video if need be. Now what I want you to notice is this, that when you select the path select tool again, you are able to move this with that dot. You see there's an X here that I'm moving. You can move it on the inside if you go on the inside of the shape with your mouse, and then, or your cursor, and then you can be on the outside. And then I do not completely understand why sometimes the text cut out. So if you do know, leave it in the comments down below and explain it to me, or link a tutorial video. So, but what I do notice is that when I have my text and I can see it, I have this blue dot that I'm dragging around. If you notice that blue dot moving around, okay? And then when I get to this thing, this X, and I'm gonna look for the X, where the X is, it's where my text disappears. Okay, so let's say I have my location. There's that X right there, and I can click on that X and move it around as well. So you just have to play around. This is something you need to experiment with. Be honest, I don't know this well enough to explain it, but this is how you do it. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to talk about here is, again, pay attention to the dot and the X. I'm going to convert text to shapes and then manipulate it with the direct select from the path tool. So let's say I have text that I typed up. So I'll just type in my online alias, Mr. Heng 562, and then I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to change the font to something that looks more blocky like blocks. Okay, which one looks like blocks? Just pick one that looks blocky. All right, let's say this one. Okay, and then I'm going to make the size bigger so that I fill up the screen. I'll center it, and then I will take the move tool and move it over here. Okay, so now what I can do is I can convert this text layer, the Mr. Heng 562 layer. I'm gonna right click, and then I'm going to go to convert to shape. And then now these texts are shape. You cannot go back in and retype any of those shapes because it's not text, it's shapes now, okay? And then I'm going to go to the direct select tool, and I'm going to just pick, let's say, highlight the bottom 2 points right here. Click on these 2 points and I'll be able to manipulate this to make it look extremely strange. Okay? So you can create custom shapes like this based off of text. So I can do that, all right? And then I can, let's say, just click on this corner of this 5 right here and drag it out like that. You can do all kinds of stuff. Just highlight an entire letter. I'll just highlight an entire letter like this. And I can move it around. Like, oh shoot, I clicked on the letter, newbie mistake. You have to click on one of these points, and then you'll be able to move it around. Look at all the crazy things you can do with converting your text to shape and then manipulating it to look authentically yours because it's your created custom shape. All right. So if you have any questions, leave it in the comments down below. If you got any tips to add, leave it in the comments down below. The next thing here I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the pen tool. And I'll be extremely honest, the pen tool, I understand maybe only 80% of it. 70 to 80%, I would say. I don't understand it completely. And if you're like a master at the pen tool, help a brother out. Leave tips down below. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a figure that is smooth curves and straight lines. So the first thing we're going to do here is I'm going to hide this layer because I don't want to see it. All right, well, actually I don't want to hide it. I'll just delete it. Okay, I'll just delete that layer. I'll delete this layer. We'll start fresh. All right, and then what I'm going to do now, oh, I have to have at least one layer. All right, sure, fine. I'll show that layer. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the pen tool, which is right here, not free pen. Free pen is pretty straightforward to understand. I'm going to use the pen tool. And the pen tool, watch this. To do straight lines, you click, and then click, and then click, and then it has a fill in the stroke. But then if you click up here, look what happens. And if you click down here, look what happens. It's really trippy. And then if you want to close it, you have to click it on top of itself, and then you'll close this shape. And you'll be able to use the move tool and move your custom shape around. All right, so I'm going to Command Z, all that. So now the next thing is I can create curves by doing this. You click, hold down when you're clicking, and then drag. Oh, click. Oh wait, I take that back. Wait, I'm on it. Okay, I'm not on the pen tool. I'm tripping. Okay, I need to get the pen tool again. And I click and I drag up or drag down. There's a curve that goes up. If I drag the opposite direction, let's say I click and then drag up, there's a curve underneath. And if I spin this around, you'll see the curve reshaping itself. Based on the direction of where my mouse is, that is the direction for the next dot. Let's say if I choose, here's the direction, right? Let's say I choose a dot to be up here, and I click and drag, look at that. That is trippy, look at that, okay? So you can spin it around to make it open it this way. You can close it by opening it off the direction. It is very trippy, okay? So once again, if I undo and see where this line is, if I graph down here, oh, I said graph. I was going to explain this in the mathematical terms in a little bit. But if I click at the bottom of that line that was like this, you see how it curves and closes the curve that way. All right. And then let's say I want to close it. I'll just close it like this. Click on that. I'll close it. And then I'll be able to use the move tool and move it around. Okay. And I'm going to go back to the pen tool. And I'm going to Command Z. So look what happens when you do if you do Shift, so hold down Shift and then drag, you have this 45-degree angle at which the line is always being drawn towards. Okay, so that is how you create perfect straight lines in increments of 45-degree angles as you spin your mouse around. Okay, and then if you hold the Option, all right, look what happens to the leading direction segment endpoint right here, end segment, should I call it. Click on Option or Alt, and then you'll be able to change the direction angle. So instead of 180 degrees, you can change this. And that determines when you click on the next spot, there's an interesting curve that happens. Okay? So I'll be honest, I cannot explain this that well in terms of how this works, but I do understand this. It is basically taking this concept of graphing inequalities. It's much more complicated than this, but this is the basics. Again, single subject integration. Remember doing these where let's start at 5, and then the slope is -3, down 3, to the right 1, and then you do your solid line, okay, and then you make, this is not going to be pretty, all right, and I'm drawing these endpoints, this arrow to make sure that this is the line that keeps going, and it's a solid line because it's including everything in these points. I'm such a nerd. Oh my goodness. But it's okay, because people who get math, they have a better life. They don't get cheated. All right. Especially when it comes to, like going in debt and all that stuff. You test a point. Let's say right here, 0.5 or 0.6. Okay, is that 6? 2, that's 5, 6, 7. So 0.7. So my x is 0, my y is 7. So 7 is less than 5. Is that true or false? That is false. So I'm going to graph and shade this way. Now I know that might bring back some horrible memories for you, I get it. And then this one right here is a U shape. So it starts at -4, all right? And then it's going to open upward, something like this, all right? And then you're going to graph and shade above. So what's the common shaded area? Right here. All right, I hope that didn't bring back too many moments for you. Hello, I hate math. But this is what it is, except with more complicated math. But what I just showed you is the foundation of how this tool was created to do. Okay, is to fill in those inequalities. Okay, so what I want to talk about now is to get a better understanding of what I just showed you. You need to go to this website, click it, and then this website right here, beziermethod.ac, okay? You just click and follow along, and this will take you to the next level. So hold Shift and then click and drag, and you'll create perfect 45-degree angles and straight lines. So it can be straight up and down or straight diagonal. And then this one is a circle where you click and drag, you will create a curve for the next dot, click and drag to the right, click and drag down, click and drag to the left, and then click here, you complete your circle. And then this is holding Alt at the right time. Notice how it's saying hold Alt. So you're going to click, drag towards the bottom right like this, okay? And then I'm going to hold Alt or Option, drag my point up here to change the angle, And then I'm going to click down here, and I'm going to drag to the bottom left until it matches. And then oh, I forgot to hold Option. Oops. I forgot to hold Option. So hopefully I'll be able to, oh, I cannot do it. All right. I can't do it. I don't know how to undo this. So I'm going to, oh, push X to clear. Okay. All right. I'll try it again. So my point is you can go in and play with this, and then this will teach you a little bit better than me on how to use the pen tool as far as explaining how it actually works. I'm a noob at that. So I will admit I have my shortcomings. So yeah, that is it. That is the lesson for today, and this is the tutorial that I'm making for today. Okay, well, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions or if you have comments for pro tips, leave it in the comments down below. Thank you very much. And you know, I take my time to make these videos, so leaving a thank you in the comments down below would be nice. And I wanted to say that all the equipment that I use here is linked in the descriptions down below. So if you buy through the link, you will be supporting my classroom by giving me some commission, and I'll be able to buy equipment, replace equipment, and so on and so forth in my classroom. And I know this looks different from before where I have lights going on. I do have lights going on, but it's like daytime right now, so you can't really see the lights in the background, but it is there. So if you notice the background, it's actually changing colors slightly. Okay, well, we're gonna say goodbye. You know how we do it. Get your hands ready. Rock, paper, peace. Let's hang out again in the next video.